Good evening and welcome to another thought-provoking episode of the Cambridge Teachers of Tomorrow chat show. I am Dr. Tripti Singh, your host, and it's a pleasure to be with this vibrant community of educators dedicated to shaping future-ready schools. And with each session, we strive to bring our viewers enriching themes that spark meaningful conversations. And today's theme, leadership that listens, empowers, and transforms, reimagining the roles of school heads. And couldn't be more relevant. In a time of constant change, school needs leaders who don't just manage system, but build trust, empowers teams, and lead with purpose. Let us explore what it takes to create leadership that's not just effective, but deeply human. And to guide us through this powerful conversations, we are joined by none other than Dr. Leena Pimpley, a truly inspiring force in the world of education. A visionary and compassionate leader, Dr. Pimpley brings over 2 decades of experience in transforming schools and empowering educators. She has held key leadership roles, including principal, academic head at the Aga Khan Education Service, and head of academics at Zealand Limited. As a certified school assessor and trainer with NABIT and program leader under the Cambridge PDQ framework, Dr. Pimpley continues to mentor schools and school leaders across the country. Her work spanning curriculum, innovation, school quality audits, teacher training, and leadership coaching is not just about systems, but about mindset. She stands for education that listens deeply, empowers meaningfully, and transforms holistically. It is truly an honor to welcome you, Dr. Leena, and we are excited to learn from your insights and experiences in today's sessions on leadership that listens, empowers, and transforms.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Tripti, for such a generous introduction. Thank you. And thanks to Cambridge for inviting me on this amazing platform. I like the title, Teachers of Tomorrow. If we want to, nurture students of tomorrow, we actually need teachers who think of tomorrow. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am. So, Dr. Leena, in your years of working with educators and school leaders, how would you personally define what effective leadership looks like in today's school environment?
Okay, so what effective leadership looks like, I would say leadership that mentors, that holds and fosters a shared vision, leadership that motivates, that delegates, that appreciates, leadership that is data driven, leadership that is a reflective leadership. I think these are some of the traits or facets of leadership which are extremely essential and they make a leadership effective. In fact, Cambridge School Leader Standards, they define leadership as a collective process that includes a wider group of people committed to the principle of distributed leadership. And I think this encapsulates the definition of leadership in the right way. So I think Cambridge School Leader Standards really elaborates further. They define different domains of leadership. I think that gives great insights because it's not just about knowledge of leadership or skills of leadership, but it's also about the vision. It's also about the values and attributes. It's also about leading, learning, teaching, community engagement. All these domains of leadership are very well explained in the Cambridge School Leadership Standard.
That's great. And I would say that leadership as presence, not just position, and what a thought to carry forward. And that focus on listening and empathy really hits home in today's fast forward moving school environment. Definitely. Yes. So in your view, what is the most pressing challenge school heads are grappling with in today's increasingly complex and demanding education space? And if you had to recommend one critical mindset shift for modern heads of school, what would it be? And why is it so essential right now?
Okay. Okay, maybe a look around the world. All of us are witnessing it, all of us are experiencing it, that the world is driven by ever evolving technology. Ever evolving, because something that was very important and appreciated yesterday is becoming obsolete today. It is that fast paced. AI is the best example, generative AI is the best example of this ever evolving technology. So what is happening again, I'm sure all of us have realized and observed that the jobs, there are so many jobs which were prominent some years back and they are just diminishing. They are disappearing, becoming obsolete. And new opportunities, new career avenues are opening up. What is opening up? That area where you require originality of thought, you require skills like creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, solution oriented approaches, synthesis. These are the skills which are, getting demand. So the biggest challenge, I think, in front of all of us as school leaders is, are we still in the past century? Are we teaching 21st century students with 19th century pedagogy? I think that is a question all of us as school leaders need to ask ourselves. We
Yes.
have to equip them. We don't require content now. Regurgitation, rote memorization is, it's passing. What we need to do is we need to transfer skills. We need to really equip students. And you are asking me one critical element. I would say that critical element is learning how to learn. We need to be very careful and mindful. Are we in our schools, are we equipping students with the skill of learning how to learn? Metacognition. Because once we know how to learn and what is the best way for me to learn, then I can learn, unlearn, and relearn. It is happening again at a fast pace. So we need to adapt to the pace. We need to learn, unlearn, relearn consistently, constantly. If we do that, our students will be able to do that. Like I would like to quote J. Krishnamurti here. I keep reading because they are standing true on to the test of time even today. So he says that merely to stuff a child with lot of information and making him pass examination after examination is the most unintelligent way of education. I think all of us as school leaders need to remember this, that we do not want to stuff now some information into our children. We need to actually unfold, give them platform to unfold and exhibit their competencies, their capabilities. That will lead them to success. Second challenge is, along with this, we need to also work on developing their empathy in them, positive attitude, resilience, collaboration, that sense of working together, being together, that is equally important for their mental health and well-being. So on one hand, the cognitive skills, on the other hand, the well-being and the mental health, when a combination of these two, if we can facilitate in our schools, I'm sure society will thank us for responsible, happy citizens.
Absolutely, ma'am. That's a powerful insight, I must say that. And it's a reminder that leadership today isn't just about steering the ship. It's about anchoring it in purpose, people, and presence. And
Absolutely.
definitely, as school heads navigate increasingly complex water, this shift from task-driven leadership to people-centered vision is not just timely, but definitely transformational.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So before we move on, I would like to request our audience to keep posting your questions in the chat and we'll take them up during the final segment of the show. So let's move on to the next segment about empowering teachers as leaders. So, Dr. Leena, as we move deeper into today's conversations on leadership that listens and transforms, let us now focus on one of the most critical part of the ecosystem, that is our teachers.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
sure. So,
Yes.
and I know that you have worked closely with teachers across many schools.
That's the
And in
most
your
crucial element, everything else apart, but a teacher and the human touch is the most crucial element for the
most
student to learn. Absolutely.
absolutely yes. So, in your view, how can school leaders move beyond traditional administrative roles and truly empower teachers to lead from within, while also building a school culture where they feel trusted, valued, and professionally fulfilled?
Yes, Dr. Tripti, that is highly, highly essential. I think for that, leaders need to acknowledge diversity. The moment we use a word diversity, we only focus on students. But diversity is for every human being. We are all, unique packages. Every teacher, being a human being, is a unique package of skills, knowledge, attitude, personality traits. So that needs to be understood by an effective school leader. A straight jacket formula is not going to work. We need to be empathetic. We need to be listeners. We need to listen. We need to be approachable, welcome ideas every time. Sometimes I have seen it so many times that the leaders have that my way or the highway approach, but that doesn't work, as you said, unless and until the teachers feel that they are trusted, their intentions are acknowledged, their efforts are somewhere appreciated, and in case there is a reflective practice that is happening. So reflective practice happens at the leader, and it can also be transferred to the teachers. And when they realize that their leader is, approachable, is available to kind of bounce off their ideas, their thoughts, their opinions, is discussing with them, there is a shared vision. So the school vision, the school mission, and the entire efforts towards enhancing learning outcomes for our students, that needs to be shared, and there has to be a collaborative leadership. When leader sets an example, what we say, walk the talk. When the leader models this behavior, I think it percolates. It automatically percolates in their teachers, and then the teachers start sharing. They start collaborating. In a school where the leader is a little closed and doesn't want to, I'm very sorry, but I have seen, schools where even the passwords to Cambridge website are not, shared with all the teachers. They are held as a big secret, whereas Cambridge has opened up wonderful resources for teachers to explore. The school support hub is full of valuable inputs for teachers. So we need to be sharing. We need to be on the same platform. We need to be collaborating with our teacher. I understand that school as an organization has some kind of an inherent hierarchy, but that hierarchy need not be rigid. That hierarchy need to be towards the enhancement of learning outcome. We need an organization. We need a structure. There can be rules and regulations. There can be code of conduct. But how we approach our co-workers, how we take them into confidence, how we also provide constructive feedback for improvement. So the focus, when it is on improvement, on betterment, I think teachers start feeling trusted, they start feeling empowered. When leaders explore opportunities for professional development and encourage teachers to participate, to join, to upgrade themselves, to upskill themselves, teacher feel value. When a teacher gets that opportunity, she feels value. And that leads to a culture of coexistence, co-working. Lot of empathy, I think, plays, and what we call active listening. So
Yes.
my teacher is talking to me and I'm attending a phone call, or I'm busy signing on some papers. That is not listening. Listening is when the teacher realizes that I am there for you, I am available. It could be 10 minutes, but that 10 minutes are the most productive time that that is shared by the leader and the teachers. I think that is where teachers feel fulfilled. They feel that they are getting that satisfaction from their work.
Certainly, certainly. And that insight beautifully captures the shift from authority to agency.
Absolutely.
And when
Absolutely.
teachers feel seen, heard, and valued, they don't just teach, they lead, they inspire, and transform the school community from within.
Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful.
Yes, certainly. I true that. And now, Dr. Tina, could you share a practical example where a teacher's leadership, when supported by the school, led to visible change in the learning environment?
Yes, yeah, there are plenty. I would like to quote one because it's an old example, almost 13, 14 years ago. My AS level, only one student decided to opt for a humanities subject. Whereas most of all our other cohort, everybody wanted to go for either commerce or science. And we were, with a question mark, what do we do now? We did not want to disappoint that student, because her aspirations were very, very valuable for us. And a teacher stepped in and she said, I will work with this student. I will, complete the entire working that is required for her success in A levels. That was basically subject of history. And the teacher, luckily, fortunately for us, had the required qualifications. But the kind of effort she put in, you just use the word teacher's agency. We could see the live example of teacher's agency. So the kind of effort she put in, her sincerity, commitment, the study that she took up to be able to mentor one student to succeed with the subject that the student wanted. So naturally, school also went out of our way to adjust the workload, to adjust the student schedule, to get first possible professional development opportunity for A-level subject teaching for that teacher, opening the entire resources, procuring additional resources. So again, it was a collaboration between school and the teacher for the success of our student. The student, she completed her A levels with flying colors, A stars. She got into a liberal arts course in a well-known, renowned university in India and later went overseas for her post-graduation. Why I'm quoting this example? Because there was one teacher's agency, one student's success. But that example created so much of interest among other students and parents about humanities as also a possible stream that can lead a student. I'm talking about way back 2010, 11. So it was that time. And then we started getting inquiries and we started offering more and more humanities subjects in our school.
What a powerful example, ma'am, of how one teacher's spark can ignite a whole school's vision, in fact, the
Absolutely.
parents' vision,
Absolutely.
when the system supports it. And that's the ripple effect, basically, of empowered teacher leadership. I would say that. Correct, yes. So now we have spoken about empowering teachers, but what truly strengthens a leader from within is the ability to pause, reflect, and realign. So now let us now explore the role of reflection in shaping truly conscious school leaders. So, in your opinion, what is reflection critical for school leaders in particular?
I think reflection is essential to the core, I would say, of leadership because we start with a vision, school's vision, our collective vision. We need to constantly keep looking back and checking whether we are on the right track. Otherwise, there are chances of digressing, heavy chances of digressing. So, reflection on part of the school leader is extremely important. That builds somewhere a growth mindset, and that builds that open-mindedness, that builds the capacity to learn and relearn in case we see that something is not going that the way we want it. To reach the end goal, we can create course correction, we can create those avenues, the interventions for course correction. And for me, reflection is not just a process within, it is essential for a leader to reflect. But I feel loud reflection or open reflection is also important for the whole team. Like when in my school, we used to have weekly meetings. So every weekly meeting, we used to have this discussion: what went well, what could have been done better, and how can we do it? And so many opinions would come, ideas would come, suggestions would come. Those 10 minutes of that brainstorming was a charging experience, for me as well as the entire team. Again, it is connected directly to empowering teachers, listening to the voices, individual voices as well as collective voices. So, thinking aloud, reflecting with your team, taking feedback, taking opinion. I want to mention one very important point here, and that is being data driven. So, the reflection cannot be floating in the air. The reflection has to be data driven. Now, Cambridge gives us abundant data, in the form of the support system, also student diagnostic assessment reports, so attainment of learning outcome for students. School creates sufficient data internally, right from student attendance to the teaching practices to the outcome attainment, assessment pattern, trends that we see. All this data should be used as a foundation for reflection. Only then that reflection becomes meaningful. If we use data meaningfully and if we reflect on the data, we are leading our institution towards informed decision making and action with wisdom, which is essential for the success and happiness of our students, well-being of our students. So data-driven reflective practice, I think, is key to every leadership.
Correct, ma'am. Ma'am, can you share one moment of yours when reflection helped you shift a leadership decision?
Okay, so I would say not shift but extend. In my one of my schools, all the students would sit for, they used to sit for Cambridge checkpoint at primary as well as lower secondary. And as you must be knowing, of course, Dr. Tripti, Cambridge gives comprehensive diagnostic report on the student performance in the checkpoint subjects. And definitely we were using that information, that data to work better with our students, to insert improvement interventions from grade 6 onwards. Because at the end of Cambridge primary CP, students would take their first checkpoint exam. So when I was looking at that data, reviewing, and I was looking at how it is helping our teachers to work better with students, the thinking was, can we take it to the first grade, grade one? And can we not only look at Cambridge subjects, the checkpoint subjects, but also some subjects which are not covered in the checkpoint examinations? So we slowly started working backwards, started working from grade one. Our teachers together, we started creating the diagnostic tests and diagnostic reports for our students. So our report card was never scores, numbers, or grades, just letters. Our report cards were actually kind of a dialogue where the teacher would be discussing the strengths of the student, the areas of improvement of the student, and what can be done. So we opened up communication channels vertically, subject teachers teaching different grades, horizontally, different subject teachers teaching the same grade, dialogue between teachers and parents, dialogue between teachers and students. And that, I think, went a long way in giving that confidence to our students that, okay, I am not able to achieve this yet, but I can do it tomorrow. I can get the tools, required tools, and require scaffolding, and I can progress tomorrow. And that also led to meaningful conversations between teachers in the staff room and between teachers and parents. So we could
Correct.
create a culture of sharing, collaboration,
Wow.
conversation, and comprehensive, progression reports.
Very nice. What an inspiring example, ma'am. And now let us zoom out and look at leadership as a relational act. And at the heart of every thriving school is meaningful stakeholder engagement, be it parents, students, or the wider community. So, what's your approach to build trust with parents and the wider school community?
I think again the key I would say, which is based on my experience, is the sense of or the approach of partnership. If we make them partners in the journey, rather than, I used to always tell my PTA that it is Parents and Teachers Association and not Parents Against Teachers Association. So if we come together with, because again we have a shared vision. Shared vision is holistic development of our students, attainment of learning outcomes for our students. So that partnership between school and stakeholders goes a long way, for which we need to trust our parents. And again, empathy plays a great role. Listening plays a great role. Sometimes when a parent comes to you and the parent is completely agitated and grumbling, that parent sometimes just needs listening, active listening. They need to be heard, and when they see that the leader is listening to them, or their son's or daughter's teacher is listening to them with empathy and is trying to solve the problem, the parent comes on your side because together you are exploring solution. It's not one against the other, but two members working towards one solution to the existing concern or problem. So rather than looking at that as a headache, I'm sorry if I may say this word, if we look at it as an opportunity to improve our own practice, teaching practice, leadership practice, I think that will go a long way. So that approach of partnership, listening, empathy definitely works with stakeholder engagement.
So beautifully said, I would say, ma'am, that when we shift our lens from defending to partnering, everything changes. Trust becomes a bridge and not a barrier. Correct.
Absolutely, well said. Yeah.
Absolutely. I do that. So, how can school leaders ensure student voice plays a role in decision making?
Okay, student voice actually, again, student agency, I would say, voice and choice plays a very crucial role.
Yeah.
Again, now for school assessments, when I visit different schools, generally student council, we interact with them. And when we talk to them, we ask them, what is your major responsibility? Generally we get a response of discipline, maintaining discipline among students. Can we look beyond student council's role of maintaining discipline? Because our students, they are the council is the representative of all the students, and students are the end users of our school infrastructure, of our school facilities. So the most what I'll say authentic feedback about our initiatives actually comes from our students, our end users. And we had done this experimentation in one of my network schools. Restrooms were to be renovated, so we invited student council and we took suggestions from them. And one suggestion actually hit us because, generally it's a matter of convenience, the plumbing convenience, that drinking water faucets are very close to washrooms. And the student council said that all the students are requesting, can you keep them a little away? We do not want to be, or sometimes I have seen schools where they are kept inside, just there is an entry kind of a room where the drinking water faucets are. So right from that up to how the changing room should be, what girls require when they have to change. Because they play martial arts or sports, and if they sweat, then can there be just one shower, for both boys and girls? All these valuable suggestions came from the students. In one school where we were working on STEM, we were, offering a number of STEM initiatives. Students came up with the suggestion that can we insert an A and can we add art element to it? So our STEM program became our STEAM program. And again, I'm talking about almost 13 years back. But that was a very, very vital, very crucial suggestion that came from our students, which kind of helped us to create holistic opportunities, development opportunities for students.
Absolutely, ma'am, and definitely empowering student voice not only strengthen engagement but builds future citizens who knows their ideas matter. Certainly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, what's a common mistake in stakeholder management, and how can we avoid it?
Okay. Uh, one common mistake that I have observed is one-way communication. So we send out circulars to parents, and we have, school almanac for students in which we are writing. We need to somewhere, or now we have websites and we have ERPs which are used to send instructions to students, parents, teachers. I think the communication needs to be two-way. Again, I will quote one example. In one of my schools, I'm always a believer that a nursery child should not be holding a pencil, the pincer grip. And there is a scientific research which behind that of not holding a pencil grip at the tender age of 3. But our parents were so worried because neighbor's child is writing. That child is also 3 years old, and writing ABC and 1, 2, 3 is most crucial for them, for a nursery child. Now, this mind shift, again, we are talking about mind shift. So we took our parents into confidence. We had sessions with them. We explained the scientific base, the research base for what is essential for that child to learn a skill like concept clarity, application, conversation. We took the parents into confidence, and we requested them, can you give us 2 years? Work with us for 2 years. You will see your child, when the child enters senior KG, you will see your child writing in a notebook with proper hold of pencil. And maybe because it was the dialogue, it was the two-way communication. We were listening to them, they were listening to us. They gave us 2 years. And when 2 years, they worked with us and they saw the results. The children were not only writing, but they were writing with clarity. They were not copying from something that is given on the board. They were writing their own thoughts. I think when parents and teachers come together, we can create wonders for our. Like my Sir Ken Robinson has said that you can't give a creativity injection to somebody. You, you need to create that environment that
Correct.
generates curiosity and then later leads to creativity. And it can't be
Absolutely.
one-sided environment. It can't be only in school. No, it has to be at school and at home. And that
And
is where this partnership becomes important.
absolutely, ma'am. So, as we begin to wrap today's inspiring conversation, let's look towards the horizon and what kind of leadership will our school need in the coming decades. So, what kind of leadership will school need, ma'am, in 5 to 10 years from now?
to 10 years from now, leadership that will learn, unlearn, and relearn. We will need leadership that learns, that is ready to learn. The leadership
Correct.
that is not saturated with I know all kind of an approach.
Absolutely.
That will lead. We need technology driven leadership. We need smart and strategic users of technology, judicial users of technology. And we need leaders who will permeate this sense of confidence, empathy, well being, and skill development in teachers as well as students.
Absolutely, ma'am. So now we have, oh my God, we have, many questions. I would just take some. So this question is from Mr. Suraj Ashok, and he's asking how to be empathetic and foster the same with all, without bias, with the young learners. Sometimes without our knowledge and unintentionally, we keep doing it. So how it is, like he's asking.
Right. So, honestly speaking, there is no recipe for empathy, but I think it is being more conscientious and conscious. If we don't become reactive, number one, if we rather become responsive, we understand where it is coming from and appropriately we respond. We say, don't label the child, identify the behavior and look at the behavior. Second
Correct.
thing I think all of us need to remember is, can we allow our children to make mistakes? Children should have the space to make mistakes. We don't let them. We are ready with correct answer. I think that is a disservice we are all doing to our children. If we allow them to make mistakes and learn from their mistakes, I think that
Yes.
will lead them to be empathetic because we are modeling that behavior. They will
Yes.
capture it.
Yes. So another question from Ashi Gupta, and she's asking, ma'am, what to do if the leaders doesn't want to listen to teachers?
I can totally empathize with you. I understand where it is coming from. It's a humble appeal, I would say, on this platform Cambridge is making to all the leaders to be good listeners. I think maybe we can keep that as one of the recruitment criteria.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, because that is there. And now Dr. Salik Nazir is asking that what are the barriers to distributed leadership and how can we overcome it?
Hmm. Okay, great question. I think the barriers to distributed leadership could be, two ends. One could be that I know all and others are not as competent as I am. And the other could be I am insecure. What if in distributed leadership, everybody or some of them start performing super excellent? Then will it threaten my position? It can come from both. I think every leader actually should follow that management principle of getting work done and encouraging people. I don't need to be know all, but I can build a team where each one brings some value to the table. All leaders, if they maintain a competency matrix for their teachers, which is not just about qualifications and years of experience, but it also talks about the special skill sets which are coming with that teacher, personality traits, behavior traits, that will help a leader build a team, develop those competencies, scaffold them, and appreciate good work. I think that will go a long way. So, distributed leadership will lead to a stronger and successful team. We can believe in this mantra.
Yes. So as we come to the close of this thought-provoking session, I'd like to thank each one of you for your enthusiastic participation and for being such a reflective audience. While we may not be able to take all the questions, there are more than hundreds of questions we have, but due to time constraints, so please feel free to continue the conversation on the Teachers of Tomorrow forum, where our expert would be delighted to engage with your thoughts and queries. And a heartfelt thank you, Dr. Lena, for your deeply insightful perspective, practical wisdom, and generous sharing today. Your
Thank you
words
so
have
much.
certainly planted powerful ideas that will continue to resonate with us long after this session ends. And definitely to our wonderful educators and audience watching, thank you for your time, energy, and commitment to evolving leadership. And until we meet again, stay curious, stay safe, and stay inspired.
Thank you, Dr. Priti. Thank you,
And I
Cambridge.
look forward
Thank
to
you,
joining
audience.
you very soon for another enriching edition of the Cambridge Teachers of Tomorrow chat show. Until then, bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.